Moving on now, it is Googly Eye News! The debate about public art is one as old as art. When Grog, the first caveman, painted a landscape of him and his friends hunting a woolly mammoth on a cave wall in the common section, much to the dismay of Ugg, the first art critic, who said the painting was... I wanted to like this. I truly did. When word spread through the cave that Grog had done something different, I thought perhaps we'd get a bold experimentation, maybe even some fresh use of berry juice, but instead what we have is a rather self-indulgent smear on a perfectly good wall space. It suffers from a total lack of anatomical discipline. 6 legs? Or is that 7 legs? I can't even tell. I lost count after I ran out of fingers. This is no abstraction. This is confusion. This is no subtlety in their strokes. There's no restraint in this paint. 3 stars out of an infinite cosmos. And Ugg wasn't known for making friends around the cave, I'll tell you that much. They very rarely are. But that brings us back to the debate about public art in the modern era. And the latest battleground for the public conscious is over in Mount Gambier, as Amelia Vanderhurst stands accused of damaging a piece of public art titled Cast in Blue by putting googly eyes on it. Take a look. Cast in blue. You're looking good. I like those fancy eyes you've got there. Whoa. Whoa. Let me get this right. People are upset because when this was first proposed, the city of Mount Gambier would spend $136,000 on Cast in Blue and put it in the center of town. The design received widespread public backlash, with people nicknaming it Blue Blob on social media, and the council voted to stick with the project anyway. Now, personally, I can't give the council too much shit on their choice of art that they want to support, because they gave me a grant to go to Mount Gambier and perform. It wasn't a ton of money, it was nowhere near the amount that Blue Blob got, but hey, you know, they've made their choices about what art they want to support, and I can't complain. Council Chief Executive Sarah Philpott said the debate around the sculpture was a symbol of the conversations public art could start. Well, and look at us. Are we talking about this piece now? It's a whole town-wide conversation. Seems like it's doing its job. Mount Gambier artist and former Country Arts SA board member Ruth Stevenson said if the work generated discussion and attracted visitors, it was a positive. From what I've read, it's less than 1% of the total budget, and it's a tiny amount of the total spent of what the council does. In which case, I'm just going to put this out there, they could have given me more fucking money, tell you that much. That's less than 1%, $136,000, well, you've given me maybe less than 0.01% of that. I don't know what the maths is on that, but they definitely could have given me a little bit more money. Not only that, I'll tell you this was weird. I got a letter, so it's standard, it's not weird. I got a letter requesting if I wanted the mayor to attend my show because I was getting public funding, to which I of course said no. Why would I want that? I don't want you to witness the stupidity that you've spent public money on. I don't want an adult in the room being like, well, we shouldn't have picked this. Definitely not. And not only did I reject the mayor coming, I then received a letter confirming that despite me specifically saying, no, don't come to the show, that the mayor would definitely not be coming to my show. Good! What? Yes! I already said no! Like they just needed to let me know that they definitely wouldn't be coming. This is the mayor saying, you can't fire me, I quit! No, mayor, you're already fired, don't come. The artwork is meant to represent a mythical version of the megafauna that were once found in the southeast, but in the colour of the city's iconic blue lake. The limestone coast was once the home of many species of Australian megafauna, including the Diprotodon. And modern day Australia, as a country, we are still home to a number of very rare megafauna. You may have heard of some of them. There's the big merino, yes, the big boxing crocodile, the big galah, the big cassowary, the big bogan, the big shrimp, the big koala, the big lobster, the big frog, the big rocking horse, and of course Kansas' famous big colonial Nazi. What are you doing, big colonial Nazi? Why are you making that gesture? That's really strange. Don't do that. Stop it. That big Nazi, frankly, could use not only some googly eyes, but like maybe some googly arms. You know, give him a better range of movement, get in there, attach some other arm options, you know, sort of like a many-armed Shiva rather than a colonial Nazi. And sure, that'd be like cultural appropriation instead of just straight up being a Nazi. But then like Nazism is also cultural appropriation. I think that's German culture. So like what's worse, that we put a big Nazi up or like Shiva for no reason at all? Like they're both bad, but I think one is obviously less worse. Right? So we're going to go with Big Shiva. I've decided. I'll tell you this, I don't know why the locals are so upset about this act of art enhancement. Art vandalism has a rich cultural history in humanity. Most famously, Banksy. You know Banksy. He spray paints things and then people try to steal those designs and sell them separately of him so that he won't get any money for it, but they manage to profit off it and people don't really know what's him and what's not him because people don't really know who he is. And it's a whole thing, right? That's them. But putting googly eyes on things has actually been one of the longest standing forms of art vandalism. There was some of it on the Nathaniel Greene Monument in Savannah, Georgia, and a bunch of statues in Bend, Oregon reportedly had googly eyes put on them. So it happened so much that the council actually reached out to the media to ask people to please stop doing it. City officials wrote, while the googly eyes placed on various art pieces around town might give you a chuckle, it costs money to remove them with care and not damage the art. Bringing up the obvious solution that I think we all thought of immediately, well then don't remove them. Keep them on. It's a good old time. Locals love them. One local even said, these googly eyes give me hope to move forward each day, which, given the state of the world at the moment, I guess kind of makes sense, right? Look at what you're doing to the local people, local council. You are removing people's hope to live. And in this day and age, we need all the hope that we can get. And if it hinges on googly eyes, well, we've got some bigger problems and we probably should invest in some better systems of support. But if for now all we have is googly eyes, then I guess we'll take it and don't take away our googly eyes, please. Oregon locals swiftly jumped to the googly eyes defense, saying art in the roundabouts is a gift. But after a while, you don't even see it. Unless it's got googly eyes. Hey, now look who's Googling. And this just might be a new stage of art presentation. Picasso had his blue period, Georgia O'Keeffe had her flower vaginas period, and Rothko had his fuck it, I'm just going to paint squares period. But humanity has finally entered a new artistic epoch. Move over, Renaissance, you outdated painting things as they truly are, piece of shit movement. We got googly eyes, baby! Yeah! And they come in all sizes for all pieces of art. One of our megafauna that I did not mention earlier was actually the recipient of some of these googly eyes. The Big Scotsman! No, not Jimmy Barnes. This Big Scotsman is apparently Australia's oldest big megafauna. He's our oldest big thing. And the owner says that this statue has been badly damaged by a group of people known as the Googly Eye Bandits. Dun, dun, dun. Which just tells me that the Home Alone franchise is really struggling to stay relevant. At the beginning, Harry and Marv, they were thieves. They were having a good old time, but they really seem to have fallen off. You know, as the Wet Bandits, they were making a living. They were doing fine. They could afford costumes and gold teeth, right? Then they tried to rebrand as the Sticky Bandits, which is a problematic rebrand even in the anything goes 90s, and possibly is an explanation as to why Donald Trump actually appears in the sequel. He heard that there was a group of people calling themselves the Sticky Bandits, and he rushed to be involved. And now what? Now they're out here calling themselves the Googly Eye Bandits? I just think this doesn't feel like the right pathway for you guys. But at least here in Australia, you won't run into Kevin McAllister. Over in Adelaide, they were hit by a swath of large googly eyes appearing on various advertising signs and statues, such as KFC, the Adelaide Crows headquarters, a Jim's handyman van, and this wonderful Dan Murphy's sign. Look at you, Dan. You're looking very suave with those googly eyes. I'm into it. I can get behind this. This is a movement that I can get behind. It's perfect. No notes. Keep doing this, googly eye bandits. I fully approve. And the woman that's getting charged for... What's she getting charged for? For partaking in a modern artistic movement? For being fun? She's facing a charge of property damage, even though police estimated the damage was less than $2,500. She could get an arts grant and cover that quite easily. And I'll say this, she didn't damage the art. The council worker who removed the eyes, they damaged the art. Seems it might not have cost as much to remove if the council staff had removed the eyes using something like a hand steamer instead of a cricket bat. Or if, and hear me out here, if they'd just let them fall off naturally, as they inevitably would have, being left out in the weather. They're pretty shit when they're indoors. They're definitely going to last in the harsh world. She's out here making a public conversation. As per the council's definition, she's creating art. And now what? We're all talking about it. I'm here, you're listening. She should be getting council funding to go and enhance the art scene in Mount Gambier through the use of googly eyes, not being punished